विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। 27th verse। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः। So yesterday we were seeing this part, jatasya hi dhruva mrityuh. For that which is born, death is certain. Dhruvaha means certain. And we took up a particular philosophy of this Arvinda, which definitely thought of making the body immortal. And the reason is he was believing that this all-pervading, self-existent, limitless, this Brahman has become a Jiva. He has descended down to the Jiva, and therefore the Brahman now, which is beyond birth and death, well, it is subject to birth and death. The consciousness which pervades this body, that is the Jiva, and therefore Brahman has literally descended in course of time to Jiva, and now you have to ascend again to the state of Brahman. That's how they call it as a transcendental meditation. By doing this transcendental meditation, Jiva can again become Brahman. That's how, that was his thinking. But basically he was feeling that Jiva is subject to birth and death, and definitely Jiva was identified with the body, then only you can say it is birth and death is certain for them. And so he thought of making the body immortal. And he got an idea from Yoga Shastra. And in Yoga Shastra, they talk about this, a long life, etc. And basically the pranayama helps a person to make live longer. And more than that, we have talked about also that all these Chiranjeevis, definitely they were all yogis. Even Hanumanji was a yogi, and that's how he was possessing this eightfold, these achievements, Ashtasiddhi. And he was having that, and therefore he must have undergone this Ashtanga Yoga in his own way, and therefore all these Chiranjeevis were definitely very long, long lived. Entire Chatur Yuga they could live, and certain jivas even can live up to the whole Kalpa. Still, it is basically, we can call them as immortal, but not it's a relative immortality. So that we have seen, and we can say here that yogis basically they believe like us only that this life is based on a prarabdha only. As per your prarabdha, you will live this many number of years, and this prarabdha is dependent upon prana, the breaths. So there is a beautiful vachanam, very popular. Ayuhu karmacha vittamcha vidya nidhanamevacha panchaitani srujyante garbhasthasya dehina. While the jiva is in garbha itself, and these 5 things are decided for him. Ayuhu, karma, vittam, vidya, I am not translating because you know, and nidhanam. Nidhanam means death. So basically, ayuhu means that life is basically dependent upon prarabdha, and prarabdha is dependent upon that breath. Number of inhalations and exhalations. And they count also that within a year, within a day one can breathe for 21,600 times. And multiply by 1 year, so 365 days, and multiply by, let's say, 100 years. This many number of breaths have been given to you. Well, so once that number is over, exhausted, this many breaths are exhausted, the person's life comes to an end. And that's how with the help of pranayama you can definitely increase the cycle of every breath, and therefore to complete the number of total breaths you need more number of years, and therefore you will live longer. That is how their belief is, and I think that's very correct, that prana has a direct relation with this thing. And there are certain other prakriyas also in yoga, which makes your prarabdha which can change your prarabdha also little bit. And second thing is the grace of Ishvara also can help a person for a longevity. Like Markandeya, he was having, or even we have heard even about Shankaracharya also. Very short-lived, but he was given extra number of years in a life by Ishvara Anugraha. And therefore that is also possible. The prarabdha could be changed to an extent. But if it is a strong prarabdha, it could not be changed. There are 3 types of prarabdha, and in that the strong prarabdha cannot be changed. They call it manda, madhyama, tivra prarabdha. 3 types of prarabdha. Manda prarabdha is the prarabdha which has some pleasure and or some pain, but you can overcome. If it is a pain you want to overcome, well, you can overcome. So manda prarabdha is something which you can change. Madhyama also you can change. It may take some time. You employ a certain remedy for that. Suppose some disease. Well, it doesn't go easily. But if you do do medication, etc., you can after a number of days or months or maybe years, perhaps you can recover from that. But till then you will have to suffer. So that is a madhyama prarabdha. But the tivra prarabdha is something won't. Whatever you do. Person has got a cancer, and from Ahmedabad he was brought to this Sloan Kettering here in New York, I think maybe. And so much. They were having a lot of money. And so they brought here. In India they had gone to everywhere in brain cancer. Well, he was taken everywhere. They said nothing could be done, pray. But these people were having a lot of money. They thought we'll go to US. And this is a best institute, etc. They thought, and they came here. Nothing happened. He lost his eyes, and then within 1 year he died also. So what I am saying is, this is a tivra prarabdha. Nothing can help. Only then why should we worship Bhagavad? Because you don't know what kind of prarabdha you have. So better worship him. Maybe if it is a Madhyama or a Manda, well, with his Anugraha, you can definitely, it can be changed. And even if it is a Tivra Prarabdha, it can always, Ishvara's grace can help to minimize the pain. That much you can do. You cannot change the whole Prarabdha at all. And that's how these three kinds of Prarabdhas there. In yoga, there are certain practices by which you can bring a change in a Prarabdha to an extent. Anyway, our main question was, this pranayama, etc. Well, these are the means, but we cannot become immortal. This is a sutra, that the sutra is immortal. What? Jatasya hi dhruva mrityu. That's how we have seen all these possibilities, even the Chiranjeevis and this and that, any possibility by which you cannot make this body immortal. That's all. And there is one shloka which I am not going to tell, but in that shloka it is said, like the Bhishma, Rama and Bhagiratha and this King Raghu, all they are almost invincible. Such a strength they were having. But all these people also, well, where are they now? They all have gone. If you are a big yogi also, still like Vishwamitra, Vasishtha and Kashyapa, etc., all these Maharshis, great yogis. And Vishwamitra made another Swarga also for our Trishanku. Such a great people. That was the power of yoga. Well, still, where are they now? You won't find them. So that's what I mean is. So with the Balam, with yoga, or even with certain women, were so powerful, like Madalsa and Ansuya and Draupadi and this Sita and all. They were having extraordinary powers. Still, you won't find now moving around. All have gone. And therefore, in this Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Why, Swamiji, you are saying all our sorrow is based on this, not accepting this fact. We are not ready to accept this fact. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu, somehow we are not able to digest. That's how we have seen all the possibilities that you can enhance your life. You can become even Chiranjeevi also, but after that also one has to live. Anyway, even this Asuras also, they did lot of penance and still they could not become immortal. And the best example is Hiranyakashipu. Even Tarkasura also is there. And Hiranyakashipu, he went to Brahmaji and took this, boon, so that he wants to become immortal. And so he counted everything which can bring a death to him. All these things he said, no, may I not die, may I not be killed by this, by a human being, may I not be killed by another living being, may I not be killed on earth, may I not be killed in the space, may I not be killed in the day, may I not be killed in the night, may I not be killed outside, may I not be killed inside. Everything, all possibilities he had thought over and take it as a boon from Brahmaji. But still, Ishvara has so smart. He fulfilling all these conditions. Still, he was brought to an end. He told, by wild animals I should not be killed. By human beings I should not be killed. Bhagavan took the form of half. So Nrsimha Avatar. And therefore, I should not be killed during day, not in night, then in twilight zone. And I should not be killed outside, I should not be killed inside. Then Bhagavan chose this threshold, Vashappadi. In this, they call it in Tamil Nadu as Vashappadi. Means in Gujarati they call Umbro. Bhagavan sat on it. I should not be killed by any weapon. No weapon in the creation can kill me. Bhagavan has that nails with that. So this is how Ishvara is. So therefore, what it indicates is Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Even they were having this nimitta ayuhu. Means some nimitta must be there to kill them, but no nimitta was there. Still they were killed. So then Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya cha, next part. Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya cha, one who is born definitely also is gone. He will go. He will die. Now this statement is very contradictory. Very, very contradictory. Contradictory by, that's a contradiction by Lord himself. Because we have seen the people who are dead, Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya, one who are dead, once they are dead, and then they take birth again, they come back again. Well, that we have not seen. Because Bhagavan said, Yad Gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Once Yad Gatva nivartante na, once Bhagavan himself said, means they will reach to my abode. Once they are dead, they reach to my abode, and then they never return. Means they never take a birth. That's what Bhagavan said. And now here he says this is also Dhruvam. This is also certain that once the person is dead, will definitely take a birth. Well, that seems to be little contradictory. So we have to understand this. And also Bhagavan has said in Bhagavad Gita, Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. Mamupetya punarjanma na apnuvanti. Once they reach to me, once they surrender to me, and once they gain me, well, samsiddhim paramam gataha. They have attained this samsiddhim called moksha, etc. Well, definitely punarjanma na apnuvanti. They won't have a punarjanma. Once they give up this body, they won't have another janma. Then why should Bhagavan says once they are dead, then they will definitely take a birth? It's a contradiction, and so we will have to understand this mrutam word is a very crucial word in this. Mrutam means as such it is dead, but we have to understand this is a very technical word here, mrutam. And what is the definition of mrutam is once the person leaves this body, then if the dutas of Yama takes you, then definitely you will take a birth. Whereas once or else before leaving this body, one who becomes immortal, take it this right now, one who becomes immortal, definitely they will not take a birth. But otherwise, one who doesn't know immortality during this lifetime, definitely they will come again. That's what it means. One which is subject to death will definitely die and return also. One which is subject to death will die and will return also. So mritam means one which is subject to death, or who is subject to death. Now we have to understand who is not subject to death. That we will have to understand first. There are two things in the Shastra. Well, they say these two kind of people are not subject to death. The first thing is one who are upasakas of Ishvara, one who has done a upasana, meditation on Ishvara for a very long time. Well, when they have to leave the body, definitely Purana says such a devotees of Ishvara, definitely to take them, these Yamadutas won't come. But Vishnu Duta or Devadutas come, and the example is Ajamil. Definitely, when the Ajamils die, then Yamadutas also came, and then Vishnu Dutas also came. Ajamil just, out of context, he said Narayana, etc. And Narayana got a Bhranti that he is calling me. He was not calling, he was calling his younger son named Narayana. And therefore, since he was leaving the body, so at the time of that he remembered his younger son. But anyway, somehow Narayana is very smart, but I don't know how he got that he is calling me. Anyway, so he sent his dutas, and these Yamadutas also came. Naturally, because this Ajamil was such a person, then definitely Yamadutas only should come. Anyway, so and then there was a lot of clash between them, and ultimately Vishnu Dutas take him. So in Upanishad, this is very beautiful spiritual meaning is there. We will not go into that. But Upanishad also says something like that for the Upasakas. What it says in Chandogya, Tat Purushaha Amanavaha Saha Enan Brahma Gamayati. Tat Purushaha Amanavaha. This Upasaka he goes to the Brahma Loka. Brahma Gamayati means Brahma Lokam Gamayati. So he has to reach to the Brahma Loka. And there is a specific road for them. A very big highway. And that highway is called Shuklagati. And it has been described in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And then in between there are a lot of stations comes, lot of places through which he goes. And ultimately, Uttarayana and Aharpaksha Devata and like that, all this description is there, Samvatsara Devata, etc. And lastly, Amanavaha. Upanishad says, Amanavaha Enan Upasakan Brahma Gamayati. Lastly, one living being comes who is not in a human form. We should understand maybe a deva or something. Well, he takes him to Brahmaloka, and so he comes, receives him, this Upasakas, and takes him to Brahmaloka. But he is still subject to death. No. If he gets a green card of a Brahmaloka, definitely he is going to get liberated. That is the main thing. So he stays in Brahmaloka till Brahmaji stays. Brahmaji stays 100 years of Brahmaji. And 1 year, 1 day of a Brahmaji, I have told you, I think before, 1 day means 1000 Chaturyugas and 1000 Chaturyugas, 24 hours. Multiply 365, multiply 100, that many. So 1 Chaturyuga is 43 lakhs 22,000 years. Multiply 1000, multiply 365, multiply 2, multiply 365, multiply 100. This many years he stays with Brahmaji. And Brahmaloka also is over, Brahma gets resolved and he is also becomes free. But not independently becomes free. Brahmaji gives him a knowledge of Upanishads, etc. Atma Vidya, and he becomes free. So such people also who are going to get Krama Mukti, they are also not subject to death. This is one kind of look. But this is, Swamiji, this talk is just, we don't talk about it because we accept it, but this is not our cup of tea. Okay. The second one is very important for us. Who is the other person who is not subject to death? Who is not mritam? So, one who knows in this lifetime that I am free from life and death. One who knows that I am free from life and death will not be subject to death. Well, he has understood this. How he has understood this? Well, he says this life and death are basically superimposition upon me, the consciousness. How? Why? This life and death belongs to whom? Yeah, that's what we are going to see now. This basically, the body is born and has a life. And death also belongs to the body. And body takes a birth and dies. But what is life? You told something that life. Okay, Janma is there, that's we understand. What is life? Yeah, we have to understand this. There is a word Jivanam in Sanskritam. Jivanam means life. It has been formed from the root Jeev. Jeev Pranadharane. So, Pranadharane means sustains the prana, upholds the prana. When something upholds the prana, there is a life. When something gives up the prana, there is a death. And therefore, Jiva Pranadharane, Mrung Pranatyagi. There is another root. From this root, the word Mritam also has come. Mrung. And if you want a certain form, verbal form, I can tell you, it is Mriyate. That you might have heard this word. Mriyate. And Jayate. And Mriyate. and Jeev, Jeevati, etc. These are the words. So Jeeva Pranadharane, Mrung Pranatyagi. So when the pranas are given up, it is death. When pranas are sustained or uphold, well, then there is a Jeevanam, life. Now the question is, who upholds the prana? That's a big question. And who gives up the prana? Immediately, this body, Swamiji, gives up upholds the prana. If body is inert, it cannot uphold, it cannot sustain. Then Atma upholds the prana. No, Atma cannot. Atma doesn't have any limbs to hold it. Neither the body, neither the Atma. And therefore, okay, we have learned in Tattvabodha that there is a subtle body also. So physical body doesn't uphold the prana, and it cannot give it up if it doesn't uphold. Then the Atma also cannot uphold the prana, cannot sustain the prana. Then that subtle body, definitely it must be upholding the prana. Well, subtle body cannot uphold the prana. So prana is one component of subtle body. And so whenever you talk about subtle body, prana is all the time there. All the time there. Therefore, there is no question of a prana which is something and get upholded by subtle body. And even if you say prana upholds the Sukshma Sharira, subtle body upholds the prana, even if you say, then you should also say subtle body gives up the prana. Do you agree with me? No. Because it is one part of the subtle body. Wherever the subtle body goes, prana will be there because it is one of the component. And therefore, subtle body also cannot uphold, cannot sustain, and subtle body cannot give it up. This is a part of it. Then what is left out? Then they say Jivatma is left out. This Jivatma is one. Jivatma who comes and goes, Vasamsi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya, Tatha Sharirani, etc. etc. So Jivatma is one who comes and goes and enters in this body. Well, and then Jivatma holds the prana, and Jivatma decides to give them up, and so then Jivatma leaves the body. So this is how they say Jivatma upholds the prana. Well, that is also not correct. And then we have to understand who upholds the prana. We have to say this Jivanam and Maranam basically is, we have to understand in reality what it is. So Jivanam doesn't mean just upholding the prana, and Maranam doesn't mean the giving up the prana. Basically what happens is, prana is something, upholding the prana is not the criteria in a life. Basically, prana is one which upholds. Not prana is upholded by something else. Prana is upheld by something else. Don't think of that, because that won't work. Prana upholds something, and prana gives up something. When prana upholds something, that's called life. Prana gives up something, that's called death. Prana upholds what? Not subtle body, definitely not. Prana cannot uphold jiva also, in as much as, whenever the jiva goes, we have already discussed all this. Whenever jiva goes, their subtle body also goes. And therefore, subtle body goes means prana also goes. So there is no question of prana gives up the jivatma also. Could you follow what I am saying? Prana cannot uphold jiva, prana cannot give up the jiva, because wherever the jiva goes, the subtle body goes, and prana being one constituent, it also goes along with, and therefore prana cannot give up jivatma. One who upholds can give up, but therefore basically prana upholds physical body. That's all. Prana upholds, prana sustains physical body, prana gives up the physical body. But then the prana is very supreme, because yes, whenever it decides, it can give up. So that is his fancy. Whenever he wants to give up, it's not. Prana upholds based on the jiva's karma. Could you follow now? That's how I said in Yoga Shastra they have talked about very beautifully. Yoga Shastra says the life depends upon this prarabdha. Prarabdha depends upon the number of breaths. And therefore, basically prana does a job of inhalation and exhalation and keeping the physical body alive, depending upon the prarabdha or a karma of the jivatma who is residing right now in the body. And when his prarabdha, jiva's prarabdha is over, well, definitely the prana abandons the physical body. That's the thing. Prana sustains the physical body, is called life. Prana gives up the physical body and goes along with the jiva. And that is the death. This is how we have to understand. So this dharanam and tyagaha, this sustaining and abandoning, giving up, is obtained for in this body, physical body. But because of the adhyasa, we feel the prana as though sustains the atma, and prana gives up the atma because of adhyasa. Adhyasa between what? See, between sharira, the physical body, and the atma, even though they are, well, one is anatma, one is atma, still because of the superimposition, well, they become one as though. Like fire and the iron ball, when they just, identify with each other, they become one entity called fireball. Same way, this body, physical body, and atma, well, due to identification, mutual identification, because of that, well, definitely atma is looked upon as a physical body, and prana, which sustain the physical body, is looked upon as prana sustains the atma, and prana gives up the atma, and that is how it is called a tadatmya adhyasa. So a adhyasa between the physical body and atma is called tadatmya adhyasa, and then this prana, the sustaining prana, etc., or giving up prana, etc., that belongs to this physical body, well, it looked upon in atma. The dharma also of a body, well, looked upon in the physical, in the atma. And that is why the life and death which belongs to really the physical body, well, is looked upon for atma. And therefore the person says, I am alive, I am living right now. Now I am going to die, etc., etc. So life and death atma has nothing to do with life and death. Nothing to do with life and death. And definitely we have to understand in this way. So mritam means the person who knows himself that this, I am not subject to birth and I am not subject to death. Well, due to superimposition of the dharma of the body, well, I say that I am alive and I am subject to death, but that is due to superimposition. Actually, well, I am free from life and death, I am free from birth and death, etc. And one who knows this, that I am free from death, is not subject to death. One who doesn't know during the whole life this fact, well, he is subject to death. And that is referred here as a word, mritam. Well, he is going to born again. He is going to be born again. So, well, so this is adhyasa, this is mithya. I am alive right now, and I will die, etc. This all is a mithya. There is no reality in that. There is no reality at all. But even though it is mithya, still, if you feel that it is correct, it's a right thing, then definitely you will be fearful. Like the person in the darkness, he sees a ghost. There is no ghost there, but he sees a ghost. Then that ghost makes this person, all the time fearful. Even though it is not there, but he feels that it is there. That's enough. That's enough. That makes this person, fearful. Same way, the person, the Atma is basically free from life and death, or birth and death, whatever you say. But due to Adhyasa, the dharma of the body looks upon on Atma, superimposed upon Atma, and that is how basically I say that I am subject to death. I am alive right now, and I am born, etc. Well, this is all is just a mithya thing, and even though it is mithya, but for the person it is reality. Like that ghost is a reality for that person, and then that ghost makes you definitely fearful. It keeps you fearful. This is how it has been told now. So evam vidvan amrita hi iha bhavati. So one should know that I am not subject to death. How? You should see in this way. This prana etc. is associated with the body. Prana makes the body alive. Prana keeps the body. Prana sustains the body, and that is also due to the karma, and that karma of a conscious being called jiva. Well, jiva is right now here inside, and dehi, and definitely as per his prarabdha, definitely prana sustains this body, and once the prarabdha is over, prana goes along with the other subtle body parts. Also jiva also lives, and therefore basically Atma has, the Sachidananda Atma has nothing to do with life and death. So this is how it has been told. Evam vidvan amritaha iha bhavati. Vidvan means one who knows this. Iha, in this janma, in this body itself, amritaha bhavati. He becomes immortal. So if you become immortal, means becoming you have to put in bracket. If you know that you are immortal, you are free from life and death, well, definitely, basically, you become immortal. If you know you are immortal, you are not subject to death. And then you will not have to take a birth. Otherwise, you will have to take birth. So Bhagavan refers that yad gatva na nivartante, etc. He is referring to such people who knows Atma free from life and death. I am a witness of life and death. I have nothing to do with life and death. Life and death has something to do with this physical body. And I am not the physical body. I am evident of the physical body. And the physical body is not evident of me. This we have to do for a long time. This kind of a meditation. This dhyasana you will have to do for a long time. Then definitely you also become free from the death. So you will not, you know yourself that I am not the subject to death. This is how it has to be understood. And then Bhagavan said, well, tasmada pariharyethe. So both these things has been told now. So tasmada pariharyethe natvam shochitum arhasi. And therefore apariharyethe. These two, both the things are fact. One who is born is going to die, and one which is dead, dead, birth is certain. Well, for this being a fact, you should not grieve for. Because this cannot be aparihara. Parihara means a change. Aparihara means these facts cannot be altered. Yeah, in any case, whatever you do, Ishvara also does anugraha on you, and you live a very long life like a Chiranjeevi or any way. But this body is going to die. And definitely if you don't know, being in a human body, if you don't know yourself that I am an immortal being, well, I am free from the time, etc. Well, I am free from life and death. Well, then definitely you will have a janma also. That is also a rule that Bhagavan says I cannot change. That I cannot change. That's how it has been told. Okay, now let's go to the next verse. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. So what point he has told in the previous verse, now the same thing he is referring here, and he is emphasizing rather that point which we discussed in the verse number 27. Now he is emphasizing here in a different manner, and we'll look upon with the help of a Sankhya Shastra. See, before I proceed further, I would like to tell you one thing. So far as this creation etc. is concerned, considering that there is a creation, let us say there is a creation, then we, for the creation, we have adopt a model of Sankhyas, because they are very near to us. So far as Atma etc. is concerned, we don't take their views. But so far as creation is concerned, we adopt the model of Sankhya's. And so I am giving you the Sankhya's model, very beautiful model of the creation. And with that help of that, we'll understand this verse. What he says here, Bhagavan, Avyaktadini bhutani, Vyakta madhyani bharata, Avyakta nidhananyeva, Tatraka paridevana. O Arjuna, here Bharata means, O Arjuna, all beings are unmanifest in the beginning, manifest in the middle, and again unmanifest to the end, in the end. Then Tatraka paridevana, what indeed is there to grieve about? That is what Bhagavan says to Arjuna. Now we'll take up first word, Avyaktadini. Avyaktam eva adi yesham tani avyaktadini. Avyakta means, in the beginning which is unmanifest, that is called Avyaktam. What is Avyaktam in Sankhya Shastra is called Prakriti or Pradhanam. Basically, it is almost like our Maya. We also say from Maya the creation comes. But Maya and Prakriti has one basic difference, very big difference is, we say Maya is a Mithya and there is Adhishthanam, that is Brahman. Well, they say this Prakriti is independent of Brahman or Purusha. They call Purusha. Purusha and Prakriti. So Prakriti also Trigunatmika, they say. We also say Maya Trigunatmika. And we also show from the Maya, there is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And then the 5 Tanmatras of basic elements. And from there everything comes. So basically we also say from the Maya everything comes. They say from Prakriti. But please understand the basic difference is, even though Prakriti is Trigunatmika, Maya also is Trigunatmika, but Maya is Mithya. We have to understand very well. Maya is basically non-separate from Ishvara. Whereas their Prakriti is independent. That's all the difference is. But otherwise there is no difference. So in Sankhya Shastra they call Prakriti or Pradhan. And so Sankhya's basically they belong to one of the 6 Astika Darshanas. Astika Darshanas, they give a pramanyam or validity to Veda, of course. And they use this word Prakriti, of course, for Avyakta. We have used already word Avyakta for Brahman. I will tell you where we use before, just 2, I think 2 words only before that, I think. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate, etc., etc. I am Atma Avyaktaha. So Avyakta word is, we have to understand through context. But here Avyakta means, we have to understand, it is Prakriti, from which everything comes. So these Bhutanis, these all living beings, or this manifest world, initially, before the creation, they all were unmanifest. That's all Bhagavan wants to tell. And as unmanifest, when all these Bhutas, when they are unmanifest, they are called, that is, they call it as a Prakriti. We call it as a Maya, definitely. This manifest world, when they become unmanifest, it is Maya. And the Maya, which is the unmanifest, when the whole, Jivas and all the names and forms become manifest, it is called the universe. Anyway, so all these Bhutas, Bhagavan says, all this, this universe was unmanifest before the creation. Okay. And that is called Prakriti in their language. What is the meaning of Prakriti? First thing, Prakarshena karoti iti prakritihi. That's the one definition. I will give you the meaning of it. Prakrishta kritihi yasyaha sa prakritihi. Kriyate anaya iti kritihi prakrishta kritihi prakritihi. All these three, they give a derivative meaning of the prakriti. If I give you in one word, what is the meaning of prakriti? Is the best or the most important cause, or the cause without which effect cannot be born. That kind of a cause is called prakriti. I will give you now an example. For a pot, how many causes are there? Several causes. The first cause is a clay. Second cause is basically, the potter. Third cause is potter's wheel. Fourth cause is donkey. Fifth cause is that stick. So many things are there. What is the cause without which pot cannot be made is called prakriti. Well, if potter is not there and may not be there here, I don't know. Pots are made, but in America everything is possible. They will make in the machine. They don't need potter. They don't need even potter's wheel also. They don't need stick. They don't need donkeys. I have not seen any donkey right till today here. Anyway, what I am saying is, suppose in America somebody is making a pot. But definitely he needs one cause without which pot cannot be made, and that is a clay. Therefore, clay is called prakriti for the pot. That's all it means. Prakrishta kritihi prakritihi yasyaha sa prakritihi. Ata kriyate anaya iti prakrishta kritihi, etc., etc. But what it means is the most important cause, inevitable cause, without which we cannot make. Pra stands for prakrishta. Prakrishta means most important, etc., etc., or inevitable. Well, more than that, even in terms of, for a cloth, you can understand this. Well, so many causes are there for a cloth, but cotton is something, or the thread, basically, cotton threads, etc., maybe, or silk thread or whatever, but without which you cannot make definitely you cannot make a cloth. And because weaver also need not be now, because the machines are there. So even weaver is also not there, still you can make it. But you need at least this. And therefore, basically, so the cotton thread or silk thread or whatever, nylon thread is a prakriti for a particular kind of a cloth. So this is called prakriti. Now we'll go ahead. What the Sankhya say, very beautiful, they have a Sankhya Karikas, like we have, in Mandukya some Karikas. So they have also some one Karika in which they describe the whole creation, how it has been formed, in a single Karika. Mula prakritihi avikritihi mahadadyaha prakriti vikritayaha sapta shodakastu vikaraha na prakritihi na vikritihi purushaha. They say 4 types of substances are there. The first is a prakriti. Second is a prakriti vikriti. I will explain you. Third is merely vikriti. And the fourth is prakriti vikriti binnaha purusha. These 4 substances are there. Now, and prakriti, of course, they consider as a trigunatmika, sattva rajas trigunatmika, rajo tamoguna trigunatmika. And that the prakriti is the main cause, the ultimate cause of this creation. How it is been made? Well, they say, and they sometimes this prakriti they call it as a pradhanam also. Pradhanam means which is main cause, ultimate cause. So sometimes they tell pradhanam, sometimes they call prakriti. They never use maya. They never use word maya. In fact, they have allergy for this Vedantins maya. Because by using word maya, then from whole creation has come from maya. Then we say the whole creation is like a Mayic creation. And therefore, if you say Mayic creation, it is a Mithya creation. And therefore, they just don't like this word. Even though it is almost similar. But main difference I have already told you, that prakriti is, even though it is ultimate cause, it is independent, that is, or real, self-existent, and Maya is not self-existent. Maya is non-separate from Brahman. Brahman is self-existent. Other than that, everything is a existent with a borrowal. Anyway, so this Prakriti is is a main cause of the creation. Then from there, Mahat Tattvam is, I will explain you that. Mahat Tattvam, Ahankara, and this Akasha, etc., these 5 basic elements, Tanmatras are born. That is how they say. And they are called Prakriti Vikruti. Because they are Prakriti also and they are Vikruti also. They are cause of something else and they themselves are effect of something. That's how Prakriti Vikruti. Vikruti means an effect. Prakriti means a cause. So these 3 things, Mahatattvam, Ahankara, and these 5 basic elements, Tanmatras. Tanmatra means in a purest form. Pure form. What? Basic elements in pure form. Right now what we have, earth right now, this gross earth is not in a pure form. Other 4 elements are there, and therefore, but when they are in a pure form, that is being formed from the Prakriti. Mahatattva, Ahankara, and these 5 basic elements in a pure form. And they are called Prakriti Vikruti. They are not Prakriti alone. They themselves are formed from the Moola Prakriti. So they are effect, as well as they themselves become cause further. So they are Prakriti also. Could you follow what I am saying? So these 3 things are Prakriti Vikruti. 5 elements, Ahankara and Mahatattva, these 7 are Prakriti Vikruti. Then further, it has been told, the third thing is Vikruti alone. Vikruti alone. And Vikruti alone, let me first explain this Mahatattva, etc. See, this Ahankara is basically a Samashti Ahankara. This is what Ahankara we have as Aham, that is a part of the Samashti Ahankara. Because they are talking about the whole creation. And therefore, this Ahankara is a Samashti Ahankara, from which this a part Ahankara also has come. That is how they say. And Mahatattvam means a Buddhi, Samashti Buddhi, not this Buddhi. So, Mahatattvam means Samashti Buddhi, and then Ahankara means Samashti Ahankara, and these 5 basic elements, which is they are in a pure form. They are born from Moola Prakriti, and they are going to further give rise to, they are going to be a cause for further creation. So they are called Prakriti also, and since they are formed from the Moola Prakriti also, so they are called Vikruti, and therefore these 7 things, 5 basic elements, Mahatattvam, Samashti Buddhi, and Samashti Ahankara is called the 7 things are called Prakriti Vikruti. And further, Prakriti basically now, let me tell you, of certain words you may feel this is typical. Prakriti is nothing but the material cause. That's all it means. Prakriti, that's how I said you compare with our Maya. Maya is basically a Upadana Karanam for the creation, we say. Brahman cannot be the Upadana Karanam. Maya is Upadana Karanam, and same way there Prakriti is also Upadana Karanam. So Prakriti means a Upadana Karanam or a material cause. And from there, this, the very first effect which is born, and that effect remains in Avyakta Avastha. They remain unmanifest. What is remain unmanifest is this Mahatattvam and Ahankara, etc. remains in unmanifest. And they give an example for the unmanifest. Well, that thing I will tell you tomorrow. We can see that in a creation, that something which is manifest right now is there in unmanifest form, in a seed, etc. What is there, that I will tell you tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Swamiji, why can't we say that it is from Maya? The Avyakta was Maya and then it resolves back into Maya as Avyakta. Why can't we say it that way?
Yeah, we'll take the Sankhya's model because word Avyakta is also used for Brahman. We have already used.
Yes.
Avyaktoyam, Achintyoyam.
But Maya is also unmanifest, right?
But ultimately, the model, even as a cause, let's say the main cause is Maya. Okay? Right? From main cause Maya, all this basically this is Trigunatmika. From this Trigunatmika, Pancha Tanmatras are born, right? That's a model in our Tattvabodha. And from Tanmatras, we get the subtle bodies, various parts.
Yes.
Right? And then that's basically from the Sattva aspect and Rajoguna. And from Tamoguna, these 5 elements get grossified with the help of 5-fold grossification and form this entire creation. Basically, they also say the same thing. But instead of Maya, they take it as our Prakriti. That's all the difference is. Could you follow what I am saying?
Yes, yes.
And this Samashti Ahankara is born when there is a Samashti Buddhi. And therefore, Samashti Buddhi is required. Otherwise, Ahankara cannot be formed. The I thought, here you see here, even I thought is formed only when the mind is there. Intellect is there. So therefore they say Mahat Tattvam is there, Samashti Buddhi is there, and Samashti Ahankara is there. And then from Samashti Ahankara, these 5 elements are also, basic elements are formed. These 7 things are formed from Mula Prakriti. And then these basic elements then further give rise to Indriyas, etc. I mean Jnanindriyani, Karmendriyani, etc. and Pranas also. That is how they describe. I am taking model. If you are not comfortable, we are going to see in our Tattvabodha also. Our model is almost same. But this Mahat Tattva, etc.
Our model is more known to us, so that's why it's just a question.
But by the way, Bhagavan has adopted this model of a Sankhya's for creation in chapter 8.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Now you remember it. So Bhagavan has already adopted. So then I thought we can take it. But if you are not comfortable, we can go back to our model. That's not a problem.
It is similar to Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So this model even has been accepted by Bhagavan also. In chapter 8, Bhagavan has told also.
Yeah, that's right. In each chapter that is...
in the beginning itself, in the 2nd or 3rd verse, when the Bhagavan showed the creation, he even mentioned the Mahat Tattva also, etc. Anyway, let's see that. Okay, tomorrow I will decide tomorrow whether we to take this or not. Huh?
Thank you.
No problem. Hari Om.
Swami.
Oh, Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swami.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.